questions you guys have, please meet with me after today's MAC meeting, and then I'll be able to address it. We also have the Kessler Park. We're also doing extra patrol there. Code enforcement has problems with the Pilot gas station lot just south of. So we're addressing all these issues individually, but I'm brand new, like I mentioned. Just bring them to my attention, and those will be my little projects so I could help out the community.
One of the great things about Luis that he didn't mention, he's raised here. So born and raised in Bloomington. So he's very familiar with a lot of the issues that exist in our community. He's very excited about his new position. And we feel that it's going to be a very rewarding assignment for him as well as for the community. So I'll transition to Sergeant Ruiz's replacement, which is Sergeant Fred Parrish, the Detective Bureau. And so I'll give him in a moment to introduce himself and say a few words. Sir.
How you doing? Again, I'm Sergeant Fred Parrish. I've been with the department for 27 years. I've worked multiple specialty assignments throughout the department with narcotics, our inland regional narcotic enforcement team, which we've done major investigations, things like that. I've been with Fontana Station almost 3.5 years now as a patrol sergeant. So I'm looking forward to doing the detective stuff and then coming to the MAC meetings and work with you. There's some people here that I've dealt with, or people that have calls for service, transients, trespassings, things like that. And usually if we can get there in a timely fashion and we catch the people, they go to jail. That's no nonsense about that. They need to go to jail if they're breaking the law. And with the transients and with the Dollar Tree, for me, not being in with all this, and I just found out just recently that we have a no trespass order with that restaurant, and the dumpster belongs to the restaurant. That's what we're trying to figure out, who owned the land, because there's cars that aren't operable and stuff like that. We can't tow them. It's a private property. But if we get no trespass orders, we get a hold of the owners. Thank you.
And I just wanted to end on one thing. We're aware of some of the issues that have happened over at Kessler Park recently, and we want to let you know we're extremely disturbed by some of the graffiti that was there. And we've got some ongoing projects that are going on there and that are specifically related to the graffiti. So we're proud to say we've already made 2 arrests. And as Sergeant Parrish had mentioned, a zero tolerance policy. So that also goes with any crimes that are occurring within our communities as well as our parks. We know that there's a tremendous investment in the parks, and the last thing we ever want to do is see an influx in graffiti, vandalism, or theft. We're going to continue to dedicate a lot of resources to that. And just to echo some of the sentiments from the deputy and sergeant, if you see anything suspicious in parks, whether it be people there, engaging in graffiti or anything unscrupulous, call us right away. We're here for you, and we appreciate the support. As always, we're going to be there to help you. And other than that, we're open to any questions.
Cool. Are you guys going to be here until after the meeting, or?
Yes. Yeah, we'll be after the meeting.
Because I'd like to speak with you. Also, is be able to get their contact information?
Yes.
As well? Okay.
Yeah, we'll definitely share all of that. Definitely.
Well, I'd also like to say thank you, gentlemen, and the previous gentleman did a fantastic job. It is. I will tell you wholeheartedly, we did develop a very beautiful relationship with them, and it is very hard to see them go, but I hope that we can establish that same relationship with you guys, because we are a wonderful community here, and I would like to make sure that it stays that way. And I really feel that it is important for our community to be able to have a relationship with our police department and our fire department, because it makes your presence, and just kind of feel like that the bond, not just feel like, they're just they know this. We did notice, and we hope that we don't have that with you gentlemen. I don't see there being any reason why. I know that we have a lovely community that welcomes you guys, and we always pray for you guys' safety. Thank you for everything. everything that you guys do for us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, anybody else? Okay, thank you. Okay, next up, we have special districts. That's Spear. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Okay, we had a very busy October. We opened the community garden here at Ayala Park with the supervisor's office and the community and the Girl Scouts. And it was a lovely event, and look forward to seeing the garden grow and become what its potential. And so we're super excited about that the Girl Scouts have the home here to have their garden and where girls can learn and watch something grow and do amazing things. So we're super excited about that. Just this past week, we had over 100 seniors here getting resources and having a meal, and also getting to dance and have live entertainment for the 5th District Senior Resource Fair. It was a huge success. It's really good stuff. As you guys know, I think most of you are here. 2 Saturdays ago, we had our 3rd annual trunk or treat here. It was a huge success. But the reason why it was a huge success is kind of what to piggyback on what you were saying about community, is the community was awesome. We had over 4,000 visitors that night, and they were polite, and they weren't in a hurry, and they just were here to ready to have a good time. They were safe due to the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department, Fontana Station. We can't do that event without you guys. We really appreciate your support. Not just the trunks, but the crowd control on the road. Safety when we run an event is always my number one thing, and we couldn't do it without you, so thank you. As Sonia touched on earlier, the Dream Field's moving along. It's my favorite thing in the parks, because it's like I'm like a kid at Christmas watching the thing get built. You know, when I was a little kid, I used to watch one be built, and it's super exciting. And I just can't wait for the opening of that. It's going to be spectacular. So, good news is the holidays coming, and Santa Claus is coming here to Ayala Park. We're looking to ride in on Santa's looking to bring his sleigh down and land at the fire station, and then he's going to truck. We'll have a tree lighting ceremony and professional pictures by Renee Alexander Photography. He always does a great job. And the kids will get to tell Santa what they want for Christmas, take a family picture, perhaps get some hot chocolate. I think the Girl Scouts will be there to hand out hot chocolate. And it should be a great community night. So if you need more information about that, there's flyers in the back, or you can always call the rec office, which we love. So we love to be as thorough as we can and let you guys know about all of our events. Again, this community rocks. The county rocks. They really do. The code enforcement team, we had bad graffiti at Kessler Park 2 weeks, and we wouldn't have been able to do. We don't have the toys they have, and we wouldn't have been able to get it as good as they did it in the timely manner. So, code enforcement, San Bernardino County, thank you guys. We really appreciate it, and we appreciate your speed and commitment to keeping our parks looking nice. And then San Bernardino County Sheriff, again, thank you for responding to our calls and filling out reports with us and navigating us through how we can better protect not only our, you guys rock, thank you. I can't say enough good things about that. Lastly, 2024 is pretty much almost over, which means 2025 is around the corner. This January, please look out for the Bloomington 25 brochure. What's going to be different about this brochure than some of the ones in the past is it won't have just Bloomington Parks and Recreation activities. We're going to try and get anything and everything that's going on in Bloomington. So I heard in the audience a little while ago that when's the dump cleanup? Well, it's going to be in the brochure, I promise you. The code enforcement will have their own little page, and it's going to have their phone numbers for contacts of how to get a hold of them if you need them, if you have a problem. It's also going to have the dump days that we have at Kessler Park and any on calendar. Same thing. We get a lot of calls for Bloomington Little League thinking that you sign up here. You actually sign up with the Bloomington Little League. There'll be a page in there that has all their information, hopefully a QR code, and so how you can easily register with them. And that's going to go across the board. Fire, sheriff, they'll all be in the brochure. So it won't just be a resource to how do we have fun with our programs, but it'll also be a guidebook to if there's a service you need in Bloomington or within the county of San Bernardino, chances are you're going to be able to find it in that book. And if you don't find it in that book, you'll be able to find a number to this office to where if it's not in the book, we can find it for you. Don't be afraid to call this office. We like if the answer is not ready for you in the book, we can get it for you.
That covers questions, Sharon?
Can I make a suggestion? I'm not sure because I don't know what cost is involved in it, but is it possible to print additional copies and leave them maybe like at the local library and maybe the little couple donut shops Bloomington has or something like that?
Possibly. We usually print about 4,000 to 5,000 that hits all the elementary schools. And then we, of course, have some on site here at the park office and then like out here during MAC meetings and whatnot. But perhaps we can print more if we can, find a good spot for them to reach the community for sure. But we'd love to get them out at these type of early in the year. There's going to be plenty of opportunities to get them, and it'll be online, which is great. So there'll be an electronic option, or for those people that still want to hold it in their hand, they can take that too. Cool.
Okay, Aaron, thank you so much.
Have a good night. It's a yearbook. It'll be. Well, that's. Yeah, but like your April one will be the book. Right.
But I don't know about October, because October's got another event that presentation will be to the county. We gotta watch what we do.
I'm going to get with you and we'll get it figured out. Okay.
All right, very good.
Thank you,
All right,
guys.
now, last but not least, our very own Bloomington resident, Greg Young, who's the board president for West Valley Water District. Good evening, Greg.
Yeah, well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Don't have too much for everyone tonight. Just want to make everyone aware of, we have some holiday closures coming up. So we'll be closed for Veterans Day on Monday, November 11th, and then we will also be closed for the Thanksgiving holiday on Thursday, November 28th, and Friday, November 29th. And that's really about all I have for tonight. If there's any questions or anything from anyone.
Any questions for the president?
I don't have any questions, but I did want to let you know that I was actually at Sycamore Hills when one of the little girls was announced of being the winner of your calendar.
Mhm.
And it was such a beautiful moment. I wish I was able to record, but they don't allow me to, but
No.
it was so wonderful. She was screaming, her little classmates were screaming, congratulations, fantastic thing. And it was nice to see how beautiful that little girl responded to
Great.
hearing she was a winner.
Yeah, we're real excited to do the calendar contest each year, and we'll actually be doing the awards to the winners at our upcoming board meeting. So yeah, and the new calendars will be coming out shortly thereafter for the new year. So here in the back for a few minutes if anyone needs anything.
Thank you for coming down to the kids ride. The kids enjoyed spinning that and winning that stuff. Thank you for donating to the water. We appreciate it.
Excellent. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to move along to our informational presentations this evening. Our first one is Bloomington Roadwork Improvement Project with Mr. Bob Pizzuto. Bob.
Hi. I have a presentation. I don't know if you want to put it on. It's the same. Oh, there you go. Great. Thank you. As you know, I'm Bob with the Roadwork Project in Bloomington. Go to the next slide. Here with the construction updates. Next slide. 11th Street has been closed. It was closed for a little while. We opened it in July. We put a line in there, and now to kind of continue the work, we're going to go back in March and continue the work down 11th for closures to complete that sewer line and put some curbs in there and upgrade the street. Next slide. That won't start until March. Locust has been closed because on that one strip of Locust, we're putting in water lines and new sewer lines. And lastly, a new storm drain line that we're going to start here hopefully very shortly. And then after the storm drain line goes in, we upgrade the street with the curbs, and the street will be 4 lanes with the signals. There'll be 3 signals, one at Europa, I believe it's 11th and 8th. Next slide. There they are, the signals. And so the whole purpose of this closure is to basically upgrade Europa and Locust into 4 lanes with trails and bike paths and curbs and gutters and upgrading the storm drains and everything. So you don't have any issues with the flooding or any water situations that you have now. Next slide. We have to go down Linden and put a sewer line in, a main sewer line. That's not going to be a full road closure. It'll just be temporary. As we go by the school, we'll make sure we coordinate with them. We talk to them all the time. That shouldn't be an issue. We're not going to affect the school in any way. We'll do whatever it takes dealing with the school, so it's not going to be an issue. And that pretty much is our update, unless anyone has any questions. Yes. There's like horse trails there. If you go kind of down the street, down Armstrong, you know how they have the horse trails. It's just going to be kind of a continuation of that. So you have a 4-lane street, and on the other side you have like a fence, and then about a 10-foot trail. Yeah. Yes.
Okay, Bob, so can you talk, I brought it up earlier about the flooding that occurred a few weeks ago, and apparently that was part of the IDI project.
Was it a rain?
Came down off of, there was flooding in a number of streets.
A water line that broke, an existing water line that wasn't our water line. And what happened was our guys got in there at like 3 in the morning, like really very early in the morning, and they saw it and they put cones around it. And the people drove past the cones, and they just kind of went on top of a trench plate we had on it and just kind of sunk down a little. And we basically, even though it wasn't our line, we went in, we cleaned up everything, and the line's been decommissioned now. And so I don't think there's any issue. Whatever happened, we cleaned up.
Okay, that was a temporary situation.
Yes.
Then you mentioned storm drains. So my understanding, I needed some clarity. You have a project going on, and Mr. Howard has a project in process. And I guess they're somewhat tied in, what I understand. I'm not 100% sure about this, but you mentioned storm drains, and I'm concerned because right now, because of the litigation that's ongoing, we have a situation where the $30 million public improvement project is being held up. And can you enlighten us on that, or on your side of the table where things are at?
It's my understanding that
Does that impact your project?
We planned on doing our project irregardless of that project. So in other words, our project design occurred irregardless of that project. And that project started, and they started with a storm line for their project. And currently, their project is not, the portion of their storm line that's associated with their project is still it's still likely to be ongoing. It's not tied to their litigation or anything. So it's very likely that they're going to continue their project, their storm project, and we'll continue ours. With their project being completed, it makes our project that much better. It's just a better, you're talking about kind of a whole better opportunity in both ways. It's kind of a win-win. If they both go in, it's better. So if they don't, we have another plan. We had a plan in place, but theirs going in makes ours, kind of like the ultimate long-term solution.
Okay, so that was kind of my question. The projects are somewhat interconnected. Is that fair?
Somewhat, yeah.
Okay, so the two of them together.
The two of them are
designed
together
to-
better than one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and the purpose of these projects is to alleviate flooding in basically in the number of streets.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's to put.
Right. Okay. All right. That's kind of what I wanted people to understand and to get out there, because there's a little confusion on who's doing what.
Right.
What's going to happen here, because we hope, what we don't want is long-term torn up streets that are going to create traffic issues and safety issues for the rest of us.
We work hand in hand and have constant meetings with the city and county, both in the same meetings. And they all kind of work together, even though, part of our project city and a little bit's in the county. And I believe Tim Howard's sewer line and a lot of his work is mainly county. Ours is mainly city. We still work together.
Right. Look, and I think, the public needs to be clear that your project is part and parcel of the West Valley logistics warehouses that are in the city of Fontana.
Right.
But there's going to be improvements to Bloomington that are coming out of that
Absolutely.
situation.
Yes.
That's what's happening.
Right.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Any other questions for Mr. Rizzuto? Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you very much. Okay, our next informational presentation is recognition of Jorge Valencia from Supervisor Joe Baca Jr.'s office. Sonia.
Sonia Peng again. Hello, everybody. I'd like to call forward Mr. George Valencia. I want to read this cert on behalf of Supervisor Baca. I guess I have to do it here because the mic is here. So we just want to stand right there in front. On behalf of Supervisor Joe Baca Jr. of the 5th District in the County of San Bernardino, it gives me great pleasure to join the Bloomington MAC in recognizing you for your honorable volunteer work. Thank you for your significant contributions made towards Bloomington's Community Garden, Kessler Park, and Ayala Park. These selfless efforts are truly commendable and help enhance the quality of life within our community. Congratulations.
Going to move along to our next item, approval of minutes. We have two different sets of minutes. Our first one is from September 4th, 2024. Take a recommendation for approval. Okay, a second. Okay, all in favor? Okay, and moving along to October 2nd. Motion for approval? Okay, second. Thank you, okay. Okay. Motion for approval, yes. Everybody's says aye? Okay, all right. Motion approved. All right, we're going to move on to public comment. Thank you very much for coming this evening, and we have several comments. Our first one is Mr. Dave Jane.
First of all, I want to thank each and every one of you for coming out there. Clampers, Rangers, Olive Garden, Olive Branch. I call it an Olive Garden because she thinks she said flower. Okay. But we gotta do that. But thank you for coming out. We served 396 people lunch. We had 75 out of wheelchairs on horseback. Okay. If you guys didn't know, that was a good turnout, a real good turnout. I want to thank you. Now, April the 12th, that's going to be our Easter egg hunt. Okay. I don't know the December one. I mean, the October one yet because I haven't got that far. I'm getting old. Okay. But I want to thank the Sheriff's Department for bringing their explorers out. They did a good job of helping us clean up, and it looked good when it was done. There's one other thing I want to bring up. We have an historical society in this town. Okay? We have one person that thinks it's theirs. Okay? The Lions Club, I have brought the Lions Club in from the Bloomington Lions Club that's been here for 100 years. I have come in, the ladies of it would like to get involved in that garage down there, to have it open to our public, for our kids to see some of the antiques that's in there and have it open. And I think the Parks and Rec can have a key where they can be available for them instead of don't know when we can get in there. Okay. I also got a complaint, and it's from the public. That courthouse down here belongs to the public. It belongs to all of us. So if you ever want to use it for a dance or a quinceañera, we should be able to use it just for the, or a wedding party or something like that wants to cater something to it. Don't just tell us we can't use it because that's county property. Okay. Local, right there where the Historical Society is, the garage. The building next door was a library. The library, we moved it up here. The guy that owns this feed store that's there now used to be up here where our library was. Okay, and that's how we switched that off. That property that garage is on belongs to the public. It's the same as the fire department. And I don't like rumors going around saying they own it, because they don't own it. I want them to try to figure out, and I've got like I said, I want the Lions Club to get involved. They want things to do, and they're really happy to come out and help us. But we need them, okay? Because we don't need one person owning it, all right? That's all I got to say. I'm just concerned about that building. It needs to be cleaned up and worked on. And we got some high school kids that would like to come over and help us clean it. Well, we can't get them in there because we can't find keys. We need a location for keys at all times. We never know when we're going to get somebody in there. The fire department's got a crew that will come out and help us. The Cal Fire. They come out and help us down at Kessler Park all the time. All we got to do is call them, and they'll come up and help. Clean, paint, whatever we need. I mean, it's just something we need to work on, because Bloomington's falling down, guys, and we're falling down fast. And I've been around here a long time, and it's really making me feel bad to drive through town and see some of the bad stuff that's going on that we need to be taken care of. That's ours. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Dave.
Dave, I have a question real quick. Dave,
Are these beautiful ladies, are they with the Lions Club?
Yes.
They are. Are you going to speak during public comment by chance? Okay. 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 Oh, wow. Okay. The reason why I was asking is, maybe we can talk with you afterwards. I'm actually really happy you're here because we see a post on our local Bloomington page. One of the young ladies, she shares the food that you guys sell there, I guess. Are you guys on the ones on Cedar? No. Oh, no. Oh, okay. Oh, you're not. Okay. So the Lions Club. I'm sorry. I got you confused. But we would still like to get information from you if maybe somebody wants to join or get information, just because we would like you to come out to our community events as well. Um, Perfect, perfect. Okay. Perfect. Okay, well, we'll get with you after the meeting, okay? Welcome, guys. Thank you for coming. Thank you, Dave.
Okay, thank you. Our next speaker is Efron Perez.
Good evening, Efren Perez, here from here in Bloomington. You had to thank the enforcement people, because we remember before we were saying, if you see something, say something. And today I saw the sheriffs stop one of the quads on the corner of close to Tamarind and Slover. So I was giving him accolades for that. That was great, because the kid was off the bike, off the quad, and on the sidewalk. They were talking to him, and maybe they gave him a ticket or something. I don't know. But then also I had a question. The land that's been cleared off east of the school, is that going to follow further towards Cedar? Because it seems like all that property houses there's this house that is completely demolished next to the church, and it seems like maybe that's going as well. But the house in the corner and the church are still there. But it seems like they're moving that way. I was just wondering if that's what they're going to do.
I'm not sure without looking at a map.
Okay. I don't know.
I know the general vicinity. of
Yeah,
what
the
you're talking about, but
locust east.
Right now, that project is tied up in court, so if there is anything else demolished, it's probably not going to be happening until the issue is resolved with the environmental impact report.
Okay, good. And also too, I was going to say, the trucks keep going up and down Santa Ana. Is that going to be a truck route one day? Because it's bad. They keep using it as a truck route.
Not if we have anything to do with it, I hope. Santa Ana, if you drive up and down Santa Ana, it is full of illegal truck yards. You can look at any property, and you can see they're just full of them back there.
Yes, sir.
Santa Ana is not a truck route.
Right.
West of Cedar. Right now, it's not designated east of Cedar to the Rialto city limit. When you get to Rialto, Santa Ana is not a truck route.
Right.
So you have that one strip where it's kind of, and this is where myself and other people that are here live, on that stretch of Santa Ana. We're hopeful that when the school district builds their new elementary school, that area of Santa Ana will also be declared not a truck route. But it all comes down to enforcement.
Right.
And unfortunately, we don't have the public safety dollars here to enforce that. A lot of that traffic stop, that's monitored by the CHP. And when's the last time you've seen the CHP? Not very often. They're typically on the freeway. So once again, it goes to lack of resources and lack of revenue to get resources.
Hopefully one
Hope
day.
that answers your question.
Yeah, no, it is. Hopefully one day we'll be able to.
That's what we're hoping.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Perez. Okay, our next speaker is Joaquin Castellanos. Joaquin, good evening.
Hi, everyone. Good evening, MAC and Community and Board of Supervisors Office. I wanted to speak on the power outages today. I wanted to speak on the topic of power outages. My parents live on the number streets, and what we've noticed is that a lot of times power outages hit the number streets more than any other area in Bloomington. Like right now, the lights are all off, and it's always the number streets down. And, it's probably a safety issue because of the wind, but it doesn't happen only during wind time, during the height of the summer, or any little accident that happens causes these type of outages. And it's kind of dangerous for the community, just aside from, not having a light to be able to see in their community. But if anyone is dependent on electricity for their medicine or for their medical procedure that they have in their home, that's put in danger. Food that people buy is getting spoiled. And to me, what this looks like is that we have an old system in that area of Bloomington, and we need to update it as soon as possible. And with all these new developments coming in, I feel like it would be a good idea for the MAC to ask the county, to invest some of those dollars into the infrastructure in that area of Bloomington to upgrade the energy system, the grid, to make sure that outages are not as frequent as they are now. And I was also going to speak on the construction of the gas. I'm not sure if that's a gas station on Harupa and Cedar, but I'm hearing that that's going to be a gas station. A lot of members in the community, from what I can see, are not happy that it's going to be a gas station. We already have the Pilot, the Chevron, the Arco, so many gas stations that are in our community. When a lot of people have been asking for grocery stores or commercial developments that will bring more goods to the community, not just gas stations that are already, we already see a lot of them. So I'm not sure if that development is going to be a gas station. I don't know if you guys know, but I hope that there's something that we could do to prevent that area from being just another gas station and instead be something beneficial to the community. Thank you.
Joaquin. Okay, our next final speaker is Pam Gill. Pam.
Hello. There seems to be a lot of confusion on the web pages about the condo development on the south side of the freeway and the sewer LAFCO notice they put out about the sewer treatment facility or whatever. Nobody seems to really understand what's going on with that. I believe it's going to happen just on November 16th. There's a real soon meeting with LAFCO. I'm hoping you guys are going to show up there. My question is, years back ago, anytime a facility was to hook to the sewer, they had to sign an annexation agreement to agree not to oppose annexation to the neighboring city of Rialto for the provision of the sewers. That usually went through LAFCO. It's a form, Rialto has them, and then it goes through LAFCO. I don't know that they do that anymore, or if we've made our own district now, and that district maybe has the community could come together as a community service district to run that district, or something, because the sewers is going to be a big issue here in the town. And if they are requiring annexation agreements to be signed, as they did in the past when they put the housing tax in, possibly we can revise that method. So I'm hoping you would invite them to the Rialto and the LAFCO and these people all to come talk here, so that the people can understand and we could put out something for the community to know when LAFCO is involved in something, sometimes it's bigger than what it may appear. And it usually relates to land use issues that might be more higher than what any of us understand. So that was pretty much. And then I want to thank the sheriff for doing excellent work. Transients are still a tremendously bad issue off of Commercial and by the fire station and down there. They're with the obstruction on the freeway. Transients have just moved behind the apartment or the trailer lot by the post office, up and down the street. I have them in my front yard. They really have nowhere to go. So they just keep moving on to other people's private property as it's their own. And it's really not safe for folks my age to be, or in fact, anybody. If you notice in Bloomington, after dark, the only people that walk on the streets of Bloomington, at least this side, I can't talk on the other side, but this side, you don't see families out walking anymore. You see this whole different population comes out, and they come out till 2 to 4 in the morning, and it's actually like another city going on. So if you guys haven't driven at those hours, you should, because it's just, many times, it's like a whole nother town. They're all up and down the streets and, but it's very fearful, at least to me, to be out in the streets during the evening. But I appreciate the sheriffs taking, thank you. Yeah, I mean, they're doing a really great job of working with the community and trying to fix what's broken. And it's really easy to break a glass, and it's really hard to glue it back together. So I completely understand. So I appreciate the glue, and I appreciate the community's efforts. Thank you.
Yeah, I forgot to mention, I was wondering about the rail yard conversation in the last meeting, and I just felt like it was so disrespectful to the person to not, act like they can't do it, tell us the community anything about that development. So I was just gonna ask them that, if you guys could figure out more about how many trips are gonna be going into that facility. I already heard that there's trips going in, it looks like it's gonna be a major expansion, so, just want to find out more information about that.
She did mention that she would give us a ballpark, but she couldn't write me specific as far as the actual amount, so it's the issue. She said so.
I have to chime in. I really hated to miss that meeting. I was out of town because I was the one that wanted them to be here because that's the exact answer I wanted. I want to know, are they bringing in 5 trucks, 50 trucks, 500 trucks, or 5,000 trucks? And I heard what I heard from my colleagues was a very kind of vague answers, nothing really responsive, which was disappointing. And, the railroad has huge rights, unfortunately, rights that no other property owners have, and because they settled the West, and they were given a lot of these rights in the 1800s, late 1800s. So it's very difficult to deal with them, and I was disappointed that they never came to us when they were doing this project. As a matter of fact, Mr. Candelaria, when he was here a couple of years ago, I brought it up because they said they were going to build a wall. And I said, well, I hear you're going to put an intermodal facility in there. And he's like, oh, I don't know. I'll have to get back to you. And so this was the outcome of that. So apologies for that. Sometimes it's frustrating. It's frustrating when you have, big entities like that are basically, the only people they answer to is the federal government. That's it. So all we can do is try to keep pushing for answers for the community, because it does have an impact on the community, and we should be aware of that, be able to factor that in with everything else that's going on. So, okay, I'm going to move along to discussion items, old business. Do we have any old business before the MAC? MAC members? No. Okay. New business. We have under new business approval of the 2025 Bloomington MAC meetings. And Sonia.
No, there's another spreadsheet that, unfortunately you guys don't have, so we'll have to put that in next meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's basically that you guys are dark in January and in July.
Okay.
So we still have time for December, to do it for January.
Okay.
So we'll bring it back. I apologize.
Okay. On that note, Sonia, Supervisor Baca got reelected last night. Is that correct? Was that?
Yeah, he was unopposed back in the primary. So
Okay. So I know that, there was, the MAC members have been asking for replacement MAC members because sometimes we struggle to get a quorum. And there's several of our members that have other organizations and stuff they're committed to, and they end up missing the meetings. But we have one person that hasn't been here for 2 years. And so I know the reasoning among the staff at one time was that we were going to wait until the election happened. So now that that's happened, can we, start working towards getting a replacement?
So for the next term, you'll appoint the MAC members in January. You guys will get your notice, come here in the next few weeks through December on if you would like to stay as a member. And then we'll put out an application on our website for new MAC members. And then we'll evaluate it, bring it to you all, and then we'll vote on it to appoint new MAC members in January, possibly February.
Okay, that'd be great, but it's not going to affect our you're saying it's not going to affect our scheduling. We'll be able to meet in January.
Yes.
Okay, great. That'd be great. Okay. Question? Okay, next item is community events. Any upcoming community events?
Senior dinner, December 1st. We're having a second annual senior dinner.
Senior dinner at the Olive Branch, or is Dave said the Olive Garden, or here? They'd like having a Olive Garden.
I like that. Hey, we had good food last year. Supervisor Baca invited.
Oh, for the commissioner center?
No, this is for the seniors.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, we had dinner for them, so, Supervisor Baca, we can sponsoring food this year for, the senior dinner. So that's December 1st. So we've got people signed up already, and we got to come here, we have them signed up here when they're having their lunch. So we got that coming up December 1st.
Yeah, we're also going to have an event for the Bloomington Garage cleanup this Saturday at all the way to noon. I'm just going to be opening the doors so you know. Right now it's just me and another friend of mine, and me and another friend of mine that's going for sure. But it's just cleaning up the trash from the wind and trying to clean up the area a little more. We have really done this prior, so we're just going to continue that. As a list of things that we kind of need, which is just kind of like trash bags, specifically similar to those trailers, grabbers. Most of us will bring our tools to that can happen, and if you're interested, please let us know. We'll be here afterwards. No worries.
I can't attend this Saturday, but if you do let us know when you're gonna have the next one with a little bit of time. I could also work with some of the people from the high school where I get my volunteers from when we have events and stuff. And I know, they make it like as a mandatory, the clubs and stuff that we use, that they have to serve so many hours. So we can definitely get like youth out there and, maybe some of our parents in the league and stuff as well.
This would be high school.
Uh-huh.
I can make for the next event, try to do a little bit more and make some flyers. How many weeks or months?
I would say if you could give me like 2 months notice, it would be good, because it has to go through like their approvals in their office. And then usually they're really good about getting people out there.
Okay.
It's out there.
Yeah.
And we can also put them up.
The only situation that we have is that even if we collect a lot of trash, we still don't know where to go. Because we don't have the space. So right now, I'm using my time. We've been, and then just kind of bring it back to what we can. So if we could get assistance on that for that next event, it would be a lot more easier to have.
About how much trash are you guys throwing away, like when you do this? Like, 40-yard roll-off, or?
Which that means one of those big Yeah,
Okay.
that's how much you would discuss.
Okay, let us work on that and see what we can find out, you know, it gives us some time to kind of get the ball rolling and look into some things we might be able to.
Could I?
I'll give you my number afterwards.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yes, sir.
I'll try to talk to somebody that I know for that.
Oh,
And then we can get, one of those dumpsters pulled out there for that day, and all the trash will have to be done that day, and then they'll come pick it up that day. So we can get some phone calls and see what I can do, and then I'll let you
Thank you.
Anything else on community events? Yes, sir.
I was wondering, most community personnel usually come up for re-election or to vote for somebody. Do we have a right, do we have a way to vote for whoever's brought up to, or when they have a change of members?
Actually, it doesn't involve us. It would be the supervisor. It's the supervisor's decision.
Yeah, it's his decision, he appoints the members, but I'll definitely bring back the position to him and see if we can come up with a different method, but as of right now, he's the one that appoints the members.
Okay, thank you. Okay, anything else on community events? Okay. Moving along, MAC member reports. Teresa, want to go first tonight?
I just wanted to say thank you again to everybody who comes out to the meetings. And still, I encourage everybody to bring new members out. It's really nice to see these lovely ladies here tonight. Welcome, we're very happy to have you. Thank you to our new deputy and sergeant. Welcome aboard. You know, we have a great community. I think you'll see that. We really would like everybody who's here to try to just get new people in here and get the word out and grow our meetings. You know, they were really big. I know there's some that have been here for a long time. They were really big in the past. And we'd like to make them like that again and really involve the community. Not to say that the people who do come is not important, but it's really good. We have a very good overall, I guess, opinion from other people, you know, because we're pretty much community, you know, and I think that if we just work hard and try to get more people aware of things and more resources out there, which I really appreciate people saying things like, you know, the trash, because people don't know, you know, they don't maybe use that little tiny print, or maybe they get it online and they just pay the bill, it's automatic, and they don't even read that kind of stuff, you know, so if we just share that kind of stuff, a lot of people don't have social media, so they don't see that stuff that goes around on social media, you know. I look on the Bloomington pages a lot, like when I have the time, because I like to see what people are complaining about, which is why I brought up the things with the rail yard, because those were things that I constantly see on there, you know, as well as the power outages. You're absolutely correct about that. So those are definitely things that we got to look into. And, you know, just hopefully we can grow our crew that comes in here. And, you know, anybody who does come, you always have the right to say stuff. And we appreciate you guys making the comments. And I like the fact that we're able to, you know, when we have a speaker, we can take the comments and we're being courteous to people that are up there so that we can make sure people do leave with their answers, because that's important, you know. So thank you.
Thank you. Angela?
I just want to say thank you for coming, and as Teresa was saying, invite people out, you know, so that their voices can be heard as well. The meetings used to be a lot larger at one time at the Rodeo Park, these cat house, and you know, so just invite one to thank you for coming, and to the sheriff, the sergeant, welcome.
A few things I'd like to bring up a few things here. There's two measures on last night's ballot that could have an impact on our community. First one is Measure L, and Measure L was appropriating money for additional sheriff's deputies in unincorporated areas. So hopefully Bloomington's going to see the benefit of that measure in the future. It doesn't specify which unincorporated areas, but there isn't that many, and we're the largest one. So hopefully we'll get a good chunk of that money for additional sheriff's deputies. The other measure is Measure BB, which is a Colton Joint Unified School District. And Angela and I both sit on the current Measure G Bond Oversight Committee, which is $225 million bond. This is additional bonding money to continue to improve our schools. There's been $1.6 billion in needs identified if everything that needed to be done in this huge district was to get done. And so this is another bite of the apple. And people don't realize Colton Joint Unified is one of the largest districts in the area. They go all the way to San Bernardino. They cover a little bit of Riverside County, Rialto, parts of Rialto, Colton, Bloomington, Grand Terrace. So the district goes all over the place. People don't realize how big of a district it is. And there's a lot of schools. I'm going to defer to Board Member Fuentes, but I think there's almost 60 schools in the district.
There's 30 schools in the district, one of them.
Okay, all right, thank you. And so that's also on its way to passing. Pam brought up the condominiums, and that came up on social media. And my understanding was originally Supervisor Baca kind of, he didn't kill the project, but he wanted more affordable housing units. And now the project is moving forward. Is that correct? With the changes?
Yeah, with the changes. I believe it's 6, maybe 8 of the units will be affordable for sale, which is unheard of. So they did tie that in there, and the project is moving forward.
Okay. So that's what the notice was from LAFCO. And the situation is Bloomington does not have its own sewer hookups. We have to depend strictly on the Rialto sewer plant. So every time there's sewer running anywhere in Bloomington, LAFCO has to, on behalf of the unincorporated area of Bloomington, they have to negotiate, for lack of a better word, a deal with Rialto to provide that sewer service because we don't have a sewer plant of our own. So everything that happens in Bloomington is sewer-wise has to go through Rialto. Now, when they run sewer, what it does is it opens up areas for additional housing, and it gives the people the opportunity to hook up to sewer if they'd like to, or future developers. And typically, when there's a project like this, the developer pays to run sewer to that location. And if anybody else develops anywhere in between that time, that area, then they have to reimburse the original developer for their portion of the sewer usage. It's kind of what they call a reciprocal agreement. So it's actually a benefit to the community that the developers do it, because if the developers don't do it, then the residents end up paying for stuff. So that's the situation on that. Was brought up on Cedar and Europa. Yes, my understanding is a gas station. It was originally going to be an ARCO. The original developer sold the property to another individual. I believe it's still going to be a gas station, what I understand. We're hopeful, as is others in the community, that we can start getting other things besides gas stations, liquor stores, and that type of thing. And that's going to really come with rooftops, which kind of goes into the condo project. The more rooftops you have, the more people in the area, the more opportunities you have for commercial development. We do have a commercial development going on the north side that was approved several months ago, which is going to be a shopping center as well. Last but not least, Dave Jane brought up the garage property, and it's hard to weigh in on that. I know Pam and her family, and the only thing I can tell you about that is that somebody would have to look up the assessor's records and see who actually owns the property. Until somebody identifies who actually owns the property, and talk about who's going to do what is kind of academic. So that would be my first suggestion to whoever wants to deal with that situation. I, like everybody else, would love to see whether it's Pam or somebody else have events there and do things with it, because it really is a landmark for the community preserve. There was a lot of effort. I was involved almost 30 years ago now in saving that thing. And so I'd hate to see it just deteriorate and go to waste. So hopefully we can, make, like they say, lemonade out of lemon, so to speak, and that can be developed into something that's beneficial to Bloomington. So with that, I'd just like to thank everybody once again for attending, and we do appreciate you coming out. Please tell your neighbors and friends, because you guys are the ones that make this worthwhile, and if people can come and tell the three of us or the five of us what's going on in the community, but you're the ones that need to know. And, it's your only really opportunity, and I know people in this community are starving for information. This is one of the best and quickest ways to get it. So we really appreciate you guys coming out. With that, if there's nothing else from the MAC, everybody's good? Ladies, we're all good over there? Everything's fine, okay. We'll call the meeting, we'll adjourn the meeting at 7:32. Thank you, thanks again for coming.
Congratulations.